before we go for lunch, we want to learn more directly from the panelists an answer to a few questions. And we only have 30 minutes, so that's not a long time. And we would like to start with Fuad SADIGOV, because agriculture, obviously, we saw that already this morning, is suffering from climate change. And you have in Azerbaijan the Agrarian Insurance Fund. Now, that plays an important role in assisting farmers to cope with the effects of climate change. As natural catastrophes are increasing in intensity and severity, what improvements should be made to make your fund even more effective?
Hello, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists and dear guests, I'm honored to be here to discuss the essential role of Agrarian Insurance Fund in supporting our farmers in the face of increasing challenges of climate change. I'm trying to keep it short with my answer. And as we all know, natural disasters are becoming more intense, more frequent, which severely reduces agricultural productivity and sustainability for our farmers. According to the relevant reports of the World Bank, serious increases in frequency and severity of natural phenomena are observed as a result of climate change. Thus, during the observation in the last 40 years, the dynamics of growth of natural phenomena has reached 400%. It means, so if in the 18th there were 250 natural events which caused serious losses, in 2020 it has reached approximately 900, sorry. And it means it's huge losses. Increasing and frequency of natural phenomena, changes in temperature and precipitation, spread of diseases and pests, soil degradation, pose serious threats to sustainability of farmers. Surely these effects don't go unnoticed in our country and pose serious threats to sustainable activity of our farmers. The application of different insurance mechanisms is one of the tools for ensuring the sustainability of the agricultural system in the global world. And as a part of the global world, Azerbaijan has taken a significant step to stimulate agriculture, ensure sustainability, and minimize the losses faced by farmers. And for this purpose, the Agrarian Insurance Fund was established by the President Decree in 2019. I would especially emphasize that with establishment of the fund, availability of agricultural insurance services has already covered 96% of country's land. And our farmers have many opportunities to get easily, of course, if they want. In addition, I want to mention that 50% of the insurance premiums in the country are subsidized by the government, and all obligations undertaken by the fund are guaranteed by the state also. The three-year development dynamics of the fund's activity indicates that 25% of country's land is covered by insurance services, and the insurance now fully covers 10% of agricultural production in our country. Currently, Agrarian Insurance Fund provides farmers with insurance against hail, hurricane, storms, frost, and other risks for 41 types of risk of plants. And the creation of opportunity to minimize losses plays an invaluable role in ensuring the economic stability of our farmers. In response to the questions, I want to highlight that in addition to my previous point, Agrarian Insurance Fund is actively working on several projects to address the increasing of natural phenomena caused by climate change. And significant measures are being taken to mitigate this risk. Thus, our special focus is on increasing the number of insured perennial crops. As it is known, drought as a systemic risk is the most serious and harmful natural phenomenon directly caused by climate change. As we know, more than 35% of the Earth is estimated to be drought-prone. As a result of the observation of the past years, it's possible to say that there has been a continuous drought in Azerbaijan for the last 7 years. So I want to especially mention that wheat and barley plants are planted on 60% of cultivated area in the country, and wheat is more sensitive plant exposed to drought. To reduce and eliminate the negative consequences of the risk of drought in Azerbaijan, Agrarian Insurance Fund is planning to insure farmers against risks of drought as a result of the introduction of index-based insurance in country. And in conclusion, I would like to mention that expanding the coverage and guarantees of the fund is vital to support of our farmers in the face of growing climate problems. By expanding coverage, by integrating advanced technology, and strengthening financial sustainability and potential, I think we can create an insurance system that more robustly will protect farmers from the impacts of climate change. Thanks again. Well, I hope I have answered your questions in short period of time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What is important here, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have in fact created in Azerbaijan a kind of private-public partnership whereby you have an insurance solution which is backed up by the state, and that is actually one way of resolving a problem which is a natural problem, agriculture. If there is drought, then of course you have a problem, but the same would happen with flooding. So that's, I think, an interesting perspective. Let's now move on to Vusal ABBASOV. You are the CEO of a reinsurance company. And what I wanted to learn from you is, do you believe that obviously we listened to Swiss Re before this morning, but do you believe that the reinsurance industry is doing enough to take care of the risks following from climate change?
Thank you for the question. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Yes.
1:30, it's the lunchtime. Sorry for keeping you here. I would like, first of all, to thank organizers for this forum. It's been for 8 years that we were not meeting in Azerbaijan Insurance Forum. Thank you for that. Coming back to the topic, I would like to start from the scratch. So what is meant by climate change? Climate change is the shift in long-term weather patterns and temperatures due to human activities, primarily due to burning of fossil fuel. So we burn more fossil fuels to produce more GDP, but as a result, we send more carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, which leads to the global warming and which will lead eventually to the change of ecosystems and livelihood of human beings. And how does it impact to our business, insurance and reinsurance business? Global warming generally leads to the increase on frequency and severity of losses. If we can witness more and more storms, hurricanes, floods, bushfires, wildfires, droughts, and other weather-related losses nowadays. So if we just compare if we look at the statistics of the last 30 years, last 3 decades, we can see that according to the reports of Aon and Gallagher, the big brokers, average annual number of losses where insured losses exceeded $1 billion United States dollars were about 14, but we had observed 35 of such losses in 2023 alone. And what it means for us, for insurers and reinsurers, we are increased loss ratio. Our business is to manage the risk of our clients, as well as provide some profitability for our stakeholders, shareholders. So it means that we need adequate pricing so that we are financially stable, we pay the losses of our clients, and as well as we return some profit to our shareholders. And in order to meet these challenges, we need to have adequate pricing. Historically, the pricing models of reinsurers has been based on historical data. But unfortunately, climate change does not make these traditional models, which is based on historical data, reliable, because the pattern is changing. So this is the first challenge. This is why climate change is important for insurers and reinsurers. Second, actually, climate risk must be disclosed by insurers and reinsurers because the regulator is requiring it, because rating agencies has incorporated it into their assessment tools. If we, as a reinsurance company, if you do not have enough reinsurance coverage for your net cat events, it will affect your rating and eventually to your balance sheet and profit and loss statement. It means to our business. So climate change, climate risk is an integral part of our business. And what do reinsurers do to mitigate these risks? Well, if we start with the modeling, now the big reinsurers, so Gepa, my colleagues from Swiss Re, they presented how they are modeling flood risk. Now integrating vast majority of data and also cutting-edge technologies, machine learning, artificial intelligence to model the future losses. So now the modeling is changing. We are not only doing modeling based on the historical data, but also can predict the severity and frequency of future losses. This is number one. And by modeling it, we will not only support our business and the business of our clients, but also the communities in total, because the government, public offices can also use these modeling results. This is number one. The number two is we are a reinsurance company. We have main operational activity and we also have investment activity. Nowadays, reinsurers and insurers globally are investing more and more towards green technologies and green bonds, renewable energy. So by investing in these renewable energy projects and green bonds, we also support carbon-free economy and support renewable energy, which will eventually, after a long period of time, help us to reduce our loss ratios. This is number two. Number three, I would talk about the innovative products. We have got traditional reinsurance products, which takes a bit longer time to adjust the losses because that loss adjustment process is a long-term process. But we've got innovative product called parametric reinsurance, which triggers the payouts if certain parameters is met. Let's say if the wind speed exceeds certain level, or if there is a higher rainfall, then the parametric cover pays without just calculating the real amount of the loss. This is another thing. The third thing is that reinsurers and insurers are reporting their climate risk according to some frameworks, international frameworks adopted by the countries. And the next question is, are we doing enough, or we should do something else as reinsurers? I think that we are doing enough, but the climate risk is following us. It's not reducing because the world economy is growing. Still, we cannot control the situation. And therefore, we need to do more. We need to invest more into renewable energies, more into green projects. On the other hand, I think world industry, insurance and reinsurance industry, regulators, public officers should come together, should join our forces. And I think we need to adopt some commonly adopted common regulations which can help us to mitigate the challenges of the climate risk. So in conclusion, I would like to tell that we've got enough forces, enough expertise, enough knowledge. If we come together as a world community, we can bring better and more successful results in combat with the climate change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's interesting. You explained how you as a reinsurer deal with climate change and effects, and you didn't mention the specific relationship with the insurance industry. because I think that was also shown in the slides from Swiss Re. You have the insurance value chain. And some people are arguing today that the insurance industry itself is not doing enough, thereby making it difficult for the reinsurance. Because if there is nothing to reinsure, well, the system doesn't work. Would you agree with that? That the insurance are walking away from the risks?
The clients are around. I
Yes,
think
please.
the insurers are also doing enough. Actually, this is a challenge for us. The thing is that I think it's not only about the climate change, it's also about the urbanization, uncontrolled urbanization. So more and more the cities are developing, the people, houses, businesses are coming more closer to the forests, where when certain bushfire it happens, let's say it can impact to the insured values. So I think insurers, together with the regulators and public offices, work together on maybe on helping the government with the city planning, okay, or with the rebuilding in case of a loss, not only just paying the losses, but also showing the ways how to rebuild the losses, how to rebuild the buildings or houses, so that they will become more resilient in case of the same kind of loss happens.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, but I think it's important for people to keep that in mind. It's a whole chain of things.
For sure.
Prevention is absolutely crucial. Once you have suffered a catastrophe, don't build the same buildings in the same place in the same way. Learn from experience. But very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ksenija, you gave us, people will probably not realize that to carry out a study as you did is a formidable exercise to get the information from so many countries. And you showed also in your slides that there is less enthusiasm for ESG disclosures and so on. And my question to you is, what can make these disclosures, because disclosures, ladies and gentlemen, is not the objective per se. The disclosure should help the system moving forward. So how can we get some more enthusiasm in the seeds country for ESG sustainability disclosures?
Thank you for the opportunity to answer this important and intriguing question. So I think that the answer, I would say my first opinion is that regulation can play a central role in this regard. In my opinion, the less developed the insurance market is, the more important is the role of the regulation in driving sustainable practices. Of course, there are other drivers such as stakeholders, expectations, pressures, and risk management, of course. A critical role of regulators and supervisors here is to ensure the safety and financial stability of insurance sector, the protection of policyholders, and of course to enhance the transition to resilient low carbon economy. In this regard, regulatory changes should make an environment where the sustainability is incorporated in all core operations of insurance industry. And as you mentioned, in the first place, I would stress the mandatory reporting. So insurance companies should be required to report on ESG issues, particularly climate-related risks, in a standardized manner, but also to report on sustainability strategies and policies, sustainability risks, risk management frameworks, but also to regularly implement climate risk stress tests to evaluate the resilience of insurance companies to different climate scenarios. The second place, I would emphasize the importance of regulatory changes to incentivize sustainable investments. So to offer, maybe to require or to establish a threshold for the investments in green assets, in sustainable assets, or to offer tax incentives for those insurance companies that are realizing green and sustainable investments or investments in sustainable technologies. Furthermore, regulatory changes should encourage the integration of ESG issues in underwriting.
Exactly.
To promote impact underwriting.
Yes.
To offer discounts for policy holders that follow these sustainable, they have sustainable behavior, or incorporate sustainable practices. Then I would say that regulatory changes should support innovation in sustainable products by creation of regulatory sandboxes, or by to promote sustainability labels development, sustainable labels for insurance products that would inform a consumer about the characteristics, ESG characteristics of the products. The changes should also enhance the amplification of, as you said, amplification of artificial intelligence, risk modeling. And let me make a small digression. I just wanted to taste ChatGPT and put a question. Please tell me one joke about insurance regulators in the field of sustainability. So here is the joke. Why did the insurance supervisor started a garden? Because they've heard they should sow a seed of sustainability, and they needed, they thought it is a part of their policy. So you will conclude how efficient was artificial intelligence in this regard. All in all, to sum up, having the experience from the European Union, regulatory changes should be in the field of sustainability, should be consistent, coherent, long-term, and predictable, to offer to be defined in a longer term, but also, and in the same time, having in mind that sustainability risks follow ever-changing patterns, they should be reviewed. So reviewed process should be implemented in order to manage that those regulation is adaptive and effective and adaptive to new challenges.
Thank you very much, Ksenija. That was interesting. Of course, I'm a former regulator. I regulated all my life. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the message that you hear here is you will get more regulation. Would you like that? No. Thank you. I was hoping somebody would say no, because that is the challenge, you know. The challenge will be, on the one hand, the insurance industry may not do automatically what it should be doing. On the other hand, we have to be careful that regulators do not exaggerate, because you can regulate so much that, you know, the appetite gets completely lost. So that is difficult, Ksenija, but your message is well understood. Gepa, you're the last person to be questioned on this panel. Swiss Re obviously is a name like a bell in the reinsurance industry. And I can only support what was said by the two people from Swiss Re. This Sigma publication, note SIGMA, very important. Swiss Re, of course, is a player in the market, but has also been a very important organization or industry or a company in educating people about important and sometimes difficult insurance issues. So Sigma publications, I can definitely recommend that to you. Gepa, you talked about the complexity of insuring and reinsuring climate risk. My question to you, and is a question because I see all these reinsurers in front of me, and they say, let's go at it. We got the capital. We're going to reinsure. My question to you, is there enough capital in the reinsurance industry to deal with these huge risks, the amounts of which are exploding every year again? Yeah, you mentioned the $1 million risk, $2 million, $50, $100, $200 million risks. It keeps increasing. Is there enough capital in the reinsurance industry?
I think it's a very valid question. Thank you for putting up this question. Well, let me answer as follows. If it comes to this region here, my reply would definitely be yes, because we are not talking about some peak scenarios like Winter Storm Europe or tropical cyclones in the US, where sometimes cat capacity can become scarce. But when it's about covering earthquakes or floods in this region, I think there is enough capacity. But there is a big but. The but is capacity has its costs. Reinsurers every year need to decide where they want to allocate their capital and where they want to spend their capacity. And I think over here, the challenge often is that the original insurance market is not generating enough premium volume, and then the reinsurance capacity feels extremely expensive because it's very high rates on a very small premium volume. So I think what we have seen now from the Azerbaijani regulator is a step into a very good direction. They want to increase awareness by compulsory nat cat insurance and reinsurance. At least that's what I heard. And I think this will increase the foundation of the base. It's the bread and butter base business. If everybody will buy private home insurance, but also commercial companies will buy property insurance, we have a much better diversity, a much better foundation, and then reinsurance will also be a bit more affordable, and we all need to make sure that insurance and reinsurance stay affordable. But maybe one last sentence, because I don't want to keep you from lunch. Of course, we are all aware that reinsurance is only the very last part in the chain. So before that, we need to make sure we prevent, we mitigate climate change to keep insurance affordable for normal people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All very wise words. Nevertheless, you know, the system will have to be further developed, I think. And we heard the word innovation. I'm a member of the board of the Bermuda Monetary Authority. In Bermuda, we develop insurance-linked securities. In one way, what we also need to do with these huge risks, we need to be able to transfer them to a wider audience, and the capital market can be a help. And for instance, on cyber risk, we now have also insurance-linked securities that deal with cyber risk, which is a positive development because we really need to expand the market, as you also said. And then in the end, and that's what the Agriculture Fund here is doing, Azerbaijan, they say, well, if there's no more money, it's the state. that will have to intervene. And that's why we are also searching worldwide to mechanisms whereby the insurance and reinsurance industry is combined with a public effort in order to have a solution in case the private sector can no longer fund the risk. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time. I think we have deserved lunch. Daniela, are you going to call people to the lunch? But let me first of all thank all the members of the panel for the excellent contributions. And thank you all.
Well, I think before thanking them, we still have 10 minutes to go for the lunch. This last minute announcement from the lunch providers.
Okay, excellent.
So it's time for us to take a few questions if there are from the public.
Are there any questions from the audience? Yes, please. Why don't you, is there a running mic? Is there a microphone that we can use? Yes, it's coming.
And since we have time, I have a question to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not on the panel.
In the very, I will introduce myself. I'm Tural Aliyev, Deputy CEO of Reinsurance. Well, first of all, thank you very much for an interesting panel and for very extraordinary speech that you made. In the beginning of your speech, you said that insurance is about unknown. Well, I cannot agree with that. I agree that it is about unknown, but with the emergence of the artificial intelligence, I think that artificial intelligence is going to change the world and also insurance as well. One of the remarkable trends is that motor insurance industry is going to change. In fact, for instance, Tesla recently announced that they are going to start a very big self-driving taxi project, which will decrease accidents by 80%. Since insurance is about risks, does that mean that we cannot be a bit, that there will be very little for us to insure in the future? What is your opinion on that? How artificial intelligence is going to change the insurance?
I would say keep dreaming, but don't dream too much, because the world in which we live is and will be a world full of risks. And artificial intelligence will assist insurance in carrying out its tasks. It might also lead to bring the industry closer to the policyholder. And I think that's one of the things that you meant. Somebody mentioned this morning this importance of data. The data availability in the insurance industry will make it technically possible for an insurer, or a reinsurer for that matter, to relate more directly with the policyholders and to help me as a policyholder looking at my risks. Because when I said insurance is the great unknown, I defy you to try what I have tried many times with my students, to let them talk about their risks. People are naturally risk averse. They don't like, if you know, just before lunch, you come to me and say, do you have motor insurance? Do you have property insurance? Leave me alone. You know, we don't want to talk about our risks. But if through data availability, there is a possibility to bring a risk awareness to the people, I think that will be fantastic. And it might result in the fact that we will prevent, you know, that we will take care of our properties, of our cars, of whatever, so that we might incur less risks. But I don't think that we will see a world with less insurance. On the contrary, we will need to educate young people, to start educating young people to think about finances, about insurance, about risk. And some countries do that in Europe. They have training, insurance companies have set up some training games even, which children can play in school to get aware about risks. Because many risks we can take care of ourselves. But it's the big risks that we're talking about. Your house burns down, your house gets flooded. I mean, these are risks that you cannot, but if you lose your mobile phone, you don't insure for that. I mean, that's a pretty unnecessary. So to make a long story short, I would hope that your dream would become true, that the world would be of less of risk, but I tend to disagree with that. Any other question?
If you allow me,
Yes, here is-
I could say that life is so inventive that for any risk that we are, let's say, reducing or almost eliminating, there are maybe 3, 4 new. So it's never ending.
Yes. Yes. I also would like to add some comments on this.
Sure, please.
So I think, yes, artificial intelligence, if we talk about the motor insurance, might reduce the frequency of losses, but believe me, it will increase the severity per accident. Nowadays, we see a lot of cars which says that it takes only 3 minutes to drive from 0 to 100 kilometers. But to open the door of that technologically advanced car takes 6 seconds, whereas it takes 3 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. This is one point. On the other hand, I think development of artificial intelligence is bringing and will bring new types of risks. So we are now more talking about natural catastrophes. So when we say catastrophe, we just think about flood, earthquake. But believe me that we are almost near to a loss scenario where there will be some cyber attack and which will result in huge losses that we have never seen before. So I think that although the technology is advancing, although there is an artificial intelligence, there will still be new risks that we will have to underwrite and manage the risks.
I can only agree with you because the inventor of artificial intelligence already said so. Okay, we have a question here, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank for great discussion, for a fruitful panel. I would like to express my gratitude to all panelists, including my colleagues, and also Gepa and Ksenija for sharing their experience with our audience. My question is about international reinsurance market. As we learned from this discussion that because of the increasing number of catastrophic events, because of the climate changes, international reinsurance markets has encountered a lot of challenges. And because of this challenge, access of local markets like Azerbaijan to international reinsurance markets became also challenging and difficult. My question is, how and what kind of role can supervisory authorities can play in order to let local markets improve their accessibility to international reinsurance markets?
Excellent question, sir. I have my answer, but I will give the 2 reinsurers on the panel the chance to react. And if they don't say what I want to say, I will say it afterwards. Yeah, please.
Okay, maybe I try. So, and we all learned that we don't want more regulation, but yeah, sometimes we need a regulator. I mean, what I've seen happening over here, I think is already a very good step that you are trying to increase the original insurance penetration. As said before, if every home has a property insurance, which should then hopefully also cover natural perils, which is, by the way, also not the case in Germany. we are also constantly discussing the protection gap in Germany because a lot of people don't have natural catastrophe policies. They only cover fire. Just as a side remark, so we are also not very mature in this respect. But yeah, I think the bigger the insurance penetration is in the market, the better risk is split between all of us. So that's the first thing where the regulator can help. I know that Azerbaijan has a compulsory home insurance in place, but I also heard that it's only, I think you have a penetration of 1.2%. So in other countries, this is linked to your gas or water supply. So there is a kind of control in place. And I heard that you are also I think you're also planning to do something like that, which is very good. And the second thing is, of course, then also what you're doing in respect of NatCat reinsurance, that now every insurer has to protect themselves again. The broader, the bigger the basis gets, the better it is split and the more affordable reinsurance and insurance is for all of us. I think that's where the regulator can help.
Vusal, you wanted to contribute to that?
We take just global reinsurance industry and insurance industry. I think that our market is not that big. It's a very small portion of the industry, but still it is interesting it should be interesting for reinsurers as an additional tool for diversifying their portfolio. So in terms of regulators' assistance to reinsurers or access of the insurance market or certain reinsurance market, I think the first thing is adequate pricing of the insurance products. When we write a policy, when a new insurance policy is issued, all factors, including natural catastrophes, should be taken into account because at the end of the year or at the end of the day, we have to buy cat reinsurance, whether it's required by the regulator or it's because of the internal risk management guidelines of the insurance company or the requirement of a rating agency. So I think regulator can help the local market by bringing risk modeling tools to the market so that it helps the local market to adequately price their risks. And then when we go to the markets by treaty reinsurance, the prices told to us by the brokers or the reinsurance does not seem surprising to us because we have adequate prices, which helps us to make some profit to pay for our cat or risk treaties and also pay the losses to our clients.
Thank you. I had two issues that I wanted to. The first one is, and it's a mistake that many regulators make in the world. They believe they need to protect their home markets by not allowing access to foreign reinsurers on their home market. Big mistake, because as was said before, diversification is absolutely necessary in the reinsurance market. The second issue a regulator should do is to develop a risk-based solvency regime. Because under a risk-based solvency regime, if you apply that here, your market becomes more attractive for international reinsurers. So two messages besides the ones my colleagues have already given. So we had one last question. Klime.
Okay, so thank you for excellent panel, for great presentation. My name is Klime from Macedonia. And actually I have two questions, but I will now keep to one.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, because the one that I like to ask already was attached from the previous discussion. And this question is also for the reinsurer and it's related with sustainability. Swiss Re and other global reinsurance are very dedicated to the strategy of net zero emission. In the process of underwriting and the reinsurance, how should be our clients concerned, especially the big corporate clients, because not if they don't meet the ESG standards, that means that the reinsurance will not be offered to them because the capacity of our local insurance players are in not that size that they can absorb those risks. And what we learn, the messages from the big reinsurance, that might happen that these clients who are more polluted clients, who pollute our environment, cannot be accepted with the reinsurance coverage. What are your view on this topic?
Okay. Impact underwriting for reinsurers. Gepa.
Well, I think in this case, capacity, in fact, will someday be limited or will be gone. I think at least when it comes to international reinsurers, I mean, most of us are under this so-called EU taxonomy, and we are already now have to report our strategy to become fossil fuel, to exclude thermal coal risk from underwriting, and at these days, I'm sending out these EU taxonomy questionnaires to my clients located in the EU, but I also have to reply to these questionnaires as AzRe. Then I immediately asked, do I have to approach my clients in Azerbaijan, in Kazakhstan with the same questionnaires, although they are not within the European Union? And what my compliance colleagues told me that yes, Gepa, because we as AzRe and Hanover and SCOR and all the other players who are quite important in this market, they all have to respond to this EU taxonomy regime, and we all have to declare what we are doing to become carbon neutral. So I think you can then either keep these exposures in the local market and try to insure it and reinsure it here, or your original customers, they will really face the challenge that there will be no capacity anymore, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But please, I'm also asking my colleagues to reply how they would see that.
Vusal, you would agree?
Yes, I would totally agree. Actually, we don't that luxury of paying like Swiss Re, just rejecting some risk, but we also in our own scale trying to apply some ESG rules in our guidelines.
I would like
Generally,
to-
I think that there should be some from as a client, I can comment on it, not necessarily not as a reinsurer. So there are still communities, countries which heavily rely on let's say coal-powered electricity, which is not acceptable according to these climate principles. But those countries also need insurance and reinsurance protection. I think global reinsurers should give some adaptation timing to the clients. So in 5-year term, you should reduce or change the technology you are applying. And if buying insurance is important for the clients who are using these coal-powered energy facilities, production facilities, they will gradually change the technology they are using. So my answer would be that there should be given some time for adaptation to this process.
Ksenija, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to add something just in 1-2 sentences independently on the reinsurance. As Klima said, the most important and the oldest clients of many insurance companies are the most problematic clients concerning ESG issues, I would say. And concerning underwriting, it is easy to say, okay, we will implement exclusions, but the experience insurance companies said that we should prioritize responsible stewardship over exclusions. So learn our clients how to behave in order to be further protected and by insurance companies.
That's the answer of the educator.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's now time, Daniela, for lunch.
Yes, now it's time. First, let's give a hand of applause to our panelists. Thank you very much.